All right. Now, this is episode 2 of the A Street Talk Show, and I have 2 special guests with me. I have Mr. Tyrell Nicholson. What's going on with you?
What's going on, man?
How's life treating you?
Everything's good.
That's good.
Blessed.
That's good. All right. And another special guest I have with me is Bishop. How's it going?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Hey, I'm glad you're here, man. All right. So, the topic that I have today, we want to talk about marriage and pretty much why men get married in the first place, despite all of the negativity that we've heard.
Boy.
So, I mean, let's get into it. So, I'll start with you, Bishop. What is your relationship status right now?
Currently, I am engaged.
Engaged. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. All right. And Tyrell, what is your relationship status, man?
Married, 7 years under my belt.
7
Man,
years.
7.
Oh,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right. What is my relationship status? I am single and divorced. That's what I am. So, there's a special reason why I kind of got these guys on. They're kind of in different stages of marriage. We got Bishop. He's in the beginning phases of marriage. And Tyrell, he's in a marriage. And I'm at the end of my marriage, boy. So we're going to get into it. So let's start with the basics. I'll start with you, Tyrell.
Okay.
What is your definition of marriage? What do you think that is?
I mean, there's a lot of things that you can like go into, like basic things, but a union between two people.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, I mean, it's so much you can say around it, but it's just a union between two people that have come together. It should be out of love, but everybody's a little different. But people have their reasons, but I would definitely say that.
Now, is it like, do you think it's like a religious or spiritual? Like
Absolutely.
type of
Absolutely. Yeah. The covenant of God, and you're doing all of that, and I just think it's a union between two people. You bring together your spiritual side, your physical side, and your finances. Economically speaking, there's a whole bunch, behind it. But that's just like the basic. Yeah. I don't really have like a fancy, definition for marriage. It's just a union between two people. If I just had to do a quick summary of it.
Okay, the unification of two people between Jesus and the Lord.
I mean, it is, but to each his own, it's one of those things.
All right, Bishop, what is your definition of marriage?
I would say, kind of piggybacking off of Tyrell, definitely it's I would say a union between, a committed union between two individuals. I think that's pretty much it. That's just the basis, I would say.
Okay. Well, I think marriage is an insurance policy.
Oh my God!
It is definitely an insurance policy to make sure you don't go nowhere.
That is terrible.
It is terrible, but it's the truth.
I haven't heard it referred to that way in a long time.
Yeah, it's like you get married. It's a government contract, right? You go down.
It is a legal contract. That's true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So legally binding.
Mm-hmm.
Ball and chain is what it is. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think marriage is like, something to keep you trapped, or?
No, absolutely not. I think, you have that right. You want to be with that person. You signed the line. You did everything. You said yes. You did that on your own free will.
Signed your life away.
But I don't look at it like that, because, if you got the right person and you're happy with that person, then, I still have my freedom. I still do what I want in terms, I respect my wife in all steps and everything. But, dude, I don't feel that way. It's like I have my freedom, and I'm able to share things that I do with her, and she shared things that she's, done and all that stuff. It's really fun, man. I wouldn't look at it as a ball and chain, I'm in prison, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So Bishop, do you think marriage is a ball and chain? How do you feel about that?
I think it depends on who you're married to.
I'll give you that.
But you know, in regards to it being a ball and chain, I don't think so. And you know, if you're somebody who genuinely wants to be committed to someone, then it's not a ball and chain. It's just it's a serious, real deal relationship. And I don't think it should be looked at that way. I think if you're looking at it as a ball and chain, that's probably why you're having some issues.
Really? So, okay. So you think it's on the individual in their mindset that depends on if you view it as a ball and chain or not.
Right. Because, I mean, what ball and chain will imply that you're being withheld from something.
I mean, so when you're in a marriage, can you really do anything without, you know, telling your wife or your fiance or, you know, however it goes? You have to let them know, like, hey, baby, can I go to the see with the boys? Can I go hang with the boys? You know.
I mean, it's a level of respect though. Like, 'cause, I mean, you know,
that's
that's what you want to do. And like I said, you made that commitment to, you know, to the, I guess in our cases, we all have, you know, women, you know, so with my wife, man, I just have to make sure that, you know, I respect her enough, and it's the same. I want to get that back as well. So she would tell me if she wants to do something, but I'm not gonna tell her no, don't do it. You know, it's just a level of respect, man.
So what if she was like, all right, I want to go to the strip club, Chippendales.
Hold on, that's different. Hold on, hold the horses. That's different, man. No, you know, she shouldn't even ask me something like that. You know, from the top. But I know, I figured you was gonna go there.
Can I go to Chippendales? Hell no.
No, you may not.
I think it's kind of a. It's like a mutual respect thing.
Absolutely.
And I mean, technically you don't have to let them know everything, but you do that out of respect for them. And I mean, if this is somebody that you've committed the rest of your life to, I think it's in your best interest to keep that line of communication with them where you are informing them what you're doing and stuff like that, so that, I mean, you don't want them to have to wonder, because that's where you start to run into some problems. And so, I mean, I think it's that level of communication is important.
Okay. I got you. All right. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of the topic. Now, why did you get married, and why do you want to get married? I guess we'll start. I'll start with you, Bishop. Why do you want to get married?
Okay. So, for me, the main reason that I wanted to get married is because, I mean, as a kid, I was always observed and told that, you know, that's what people do when they want to have a family. You find someone that you love and want to spend the rest of your life with, and you get married. And so that's one thing. And then something else that's pretty important to me is keeping my family name going, because in my family, it's me, my brother, and my dad. We are the last remaining men of our bloodline in our family. All the other men are married to the family, because all of my dad, he had all sisters, and my mom only has sisters. And so, you know, it was very important to me, where I was like, you know, I have to keep my family going. So, I mean, I need to get married, and I want to. So, you know, keep the family bloodline going.
Okay. I got you. All right. So, Tyrell, why did you want to get married?
I feel like I found the one, and you know, when you're dating and everything, you should have an idea of what you want, right? So, like if you go to the grocery store, you have a list of things that you want, right? So let's say, and let's say if you don't have a list, now you're going to the store, you're buying all this stuff you don't need, and you're not even getting what you wanted in the first place. Mm-hmm. So for me, man, I felt like my wife, she checked off on all of the boxes, and she was just a really good catch. She was everything that I was looking for. Really? And there's no such thing as a perfect woman. By any means, it's not. But I felt like I found the woman that was perfect for me, and we've been together for over 7 years, and we have a handsome son. I was about to say beautiful, but a handsome son, and I mean we have a really great relationship, and I think it just shows, man. Like she found me, I found her, so it was. I'm just glad. I'm really glad.
I just want to say too that for me too. It was like that, my fiance checked all of the boxes that, I had in my mind of if I were to, this is what I look for or think of when I want a wife. This is who I would want as a wife.
Yeah. All right, so hold on. Let me rewind for a second.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about these boxes that's getting checked off. So
okay.
All right, so you said there's boxes that checked off that you like. Now, how can I word this? What criteria do you have for a woman that you would marry, or the person that you want to be with?
Okay. Okay. Well, for me, I would want to say. I mean, I think it goes without saying, but I'll put it on there. Is of course she has to meet a certain level of attractiveness.
Absolutely.
If there's somebody you're gonna be, you got to look at every day.
Can't look like your box.
Yeah, you probably want them to look a little nice,
like a reptile. Every morning.
Oh
So
no.
she checked off the attractiveness box, and then being a caring person was a very important box for me because it's a lot of selfish folks out here.
100%.
And I think in order for any marriage or really just any relationship to work, you're going to have somebody who is caring. So that was another box. And then she doesn't have any children of her own yet.
Okay.
That was a pretty big one for me.
That's a big one for a lot of people.
That was the same for me.
I've dated a few women that have had children, and it's just I didn't have any. Them having children for me, because these particular women had their situation was kind of unique in the sense that the father was nowhere in the picture, so I didn't have to try to cater to, oh man. This guy might want this or that, or he's talking to her every other day. So, I never had to deal with any of that, but, just the possibility of that being there was something that I just didn't want to deal with.
I understand 100%.
100%. And so, I would want to say, probably the last box for me, well, 2 more boxes. The other one was that we have shared interests. Man, we've been gaming for years.
Yeah. She
games as well. She streams. She likes almost all of the stuff that I like.
So there's compatibility there.
Yes. So, we have that shared interest. So that makes it easy for us to talk about things, and we get along real great when it comes to that. And then the last would be that, she's younger than me. I'm 34, just turned 34. Birthday was last week.
Happy belated, man.
Thank you. No, don't feel like it. I still feel like I'm like 25, but
I feel like I'm 45.
She's 27, and when I was thinking about who I would pick to marry, I was like, okay, she's gonna have to be of a certain age because I want to be able to enjoy our time as a couple before we decide to have children. But I also want to do that within a time frame where we ain't some old folks, you know, trying to, all right, we ready to have some kids and we 40, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you know, that was probably the final box with me. Was that, you know, she was a nice young age, but not too young, because we
know about
we ain't doing none of that.
No, R. Kelly.
We ain't doing none of that over
Don't
here.
do the R. Kelly over here.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Tyrell. What about you?
For me, man, like, you know, definitely attractiveness. You know, the basics, like trustworthy, you're honest, you know, the basic things. And then I would say just like somebody that'll make me laugh. Yeah. I know a lot of women say that, and my wife is funny, man.
Yes, she is.
and you know, just somebody I can just like grow with, man, and somebody that actually have goals in line. Like, I think it's, you know, finding somebody like that was just enough for me. I mean, it's a lot of other little boxes I have to probably really think on it, but just like the basics, man, and she's just wonderful. I got a great wife, and
the guys ain't hard to please, man.
Simple.
It ain't that
simple.
Like, man, you just give me the basics and I'm good. I can work with the other stuff.
Yep.
Unless it's too crazy.
This man.
And you do the basic nowadays.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll get into what I kind of like. So my ex-wife, when I met her, she was really down to earth. I thought she was gonna be bougie, but she was really down to earth. I could talk to her. You know, we would go out. She would offer to pay meals. I was like, what kind of sorcery is this? She offered to pay. You know, she was really, really kind and considerate, and you know, pretty. She was a hairstylist, so she always kept her hair done. So, you know, yeah, she was very funny, very fun to be around. Petty sometimes, but you know, it was all fun. But yeah, she was pretty cool in the beginning.
Now, before we continue, I got a question I wanted to ask both of you since we're on this topic.
Okay.
And so I'll ask you first, Herbert. How long did you all know each other and or date before y'all decided to get married?
I think we dated for about a really short amount of time. It was like maybe 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah, but in that 5 months of dating, like, we gelled together so well that I could see myself with her for the rest of my life. Cause we would say like, man, I could see myself being with you forever, because it was easy,
right,
in the beginning. And but yeah.
What about you, Tyrell?
I met my wife when I was 19 at FedEx.
Okay.
But I wasn't trying to date her. I was dating somebody else. Yeah, man. I was dating somebody else at the time. And my wife and I, we actually got together when I was like 22 or something like that. And we got married when I was 24.
So did y'all stay in contact between that time before y'all
Actually, we did, man. When me and old girl broke up, I was ready to mingle. So I got on out there, and you know, I got out there and I started. I got back in touch with her, and I said, "Man, you know what? I like this girl, man. She cool. You know, that was my mindset,
right?
And we kicked it off really well, because you know, talking to somebody and knowing somebody and dating them is two different kinds of people,
boy. Man.
Yep. So like, and we kicked it off really well, man. We went to the movies and we just kind of talked a whole bunch, man. After the movie, you know, we talked a whole bunch. Not during the movie, but and we just had a good time, man. And I was just like, man, this is a cool chick right here. This chick is cool. And then we just went from there, man. Yep. So I knew it. Like I said, I was 19 when I met her, and we got married when I was 24. So
okay.
Yeah.
But as far as dating, we were together probably about a year and a half before we actually got married.
Okay. And, you know, it's you know, I've heard that when you know, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you find what you want, it don't take long.
That's true.
And it ain't hard to pull that trigger. I say that because with me, my fiance, now I had known of her for a while. because we used to follow each other on Twitter, and we used to argue all the time on Twitter about topics of all kind of, oh my goodness, topics all day. And she was from Memphis as well, but I had never seen her before. So in 2019, I want to say, yeah, there was a Twitch summit here in Memphis for where they were doing some charity stuff for St. Jude, and they had a bunch of streamers from all over the country, and 2 other friends of mine were here in town from Atlanta, and so we were hanging out pretty much every day that week, and went downtown, and I met my now fiance for the first time, and ever since then we had become friends. And so over the course of like a year, we were friends. We would hang out every now and again and stuff like that. And I want to say, what was this? Last August, we started dating. And I had known shortly after meeting her, I was like, man, you know what? This ain't somebody that I wouldn't mind getting with, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, she was with somebody else at the time, and I'm not the type of guy that.
No home wreckers.
Yeah, I wasn't finna do no dirty macking and none of that. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna let her cook.
Yeah.
But we just both so happened to be single at the same time, and I was kind of like, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about those boxes that I was talking about. I was like, man, it ain't no reason why we shouldn't be able to, get together. And we started hanging out. I let her know that I was interested, and maybe about 6 months later, we were dating for real. Okay. And then a few months after that, engaged.
Yeah, well, you know.
So I thought, so when before I got married, like, I didn't get married because, like, I just really, really knew. I think I got married because, like, we were, like, pressured. So what happened was, like, her parents were pretty much beating us over the head with the Bible, saying, hey, if we don't get married,
ain't no shacking
up and this and that, and then she was like, well, you know what, we need to do the right thing. And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, the Lord gonna get us if we don't do right. So might as well do it.
You don't want to get smited?
Man. Yeah, they don't get smited. So, we went on ahead and did the right thing is what we did. And I always say this line, sometimes doing the right thing ain't the right thing for you.
Yeah.
Because, we kind of rushed into marriage too quick. And I don't think that we were pretty much, I think I was ready. I was ready for it.
Yeah, I remember that time. You were serious about it.
I was serious. I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to be a husband. And, but I don't think that she knew what it was to be a wife. I'm not here to bash her or anything. I'm just telling it like it is,
Yeah.
But, and she was a little bit younger than me. And that's a question I want to bring up to you, Bishop.
Yeah.
You don't find any issues with dating somebody that's younger than you? Like, sometimes there's like a maturity gap in some areas.
Well, that was kind of something that I was kind of, I was thinking about it and keeping an eye out for early on, because she is probably, I never seriously dated anybody that was that much younger than me. I normally would date somebody around my age or a little bit older.
Yeah. And
so, but just from, see, this is my thing. When I get my sights on somebody, I scope them out for a period of time.
You got the sniper, right?
Yeah. And so, I did my research, and, I was keeping track, and I was looking at, how she moves and stuff. And I was like, she's pretty. I was like, she's pretty mature. And I was like, she ain't like some like little girl. And so, you know, when it comes to like the really important things, the stuff that I really care about, is her being younger than me isn't really an issue.
Okay.
It's just a lot of very good joking opportunities though.
Yeah.
Because I always mess with her about how she wasn't born when certain stuff I want to talk about stuff. I didn't know about that. You wasn't born.
Yeah. So with that said, let me get into the next topic. Now, what makes a woman marriage material? And I'll start with you, Tyron.
It's basically what I was saying earlier. If she checks off on the boxes for you, because like this answer isn't going to be the same for everybody. It's going to be if that woman has to fit you. Like, but you know, if you're just talking like basic, you know, it varies. But for me, it just goes back to those boxes, man. The boxes we were talking about earlier, and if you know, Chelsea, she checked off on the boxes that I needed her to check off on, and she did it. You know, that was all I needed. But as far as like being a good woman, that's just up to the individual, man. Because like we could talk about relationships all day, but at the end of the day, I could tell you everything about my wife because I know my wife. And, you know, I didn't study. We've been through things just like Bishop, and it's the same thing. Like, you know her at this point. So, yeah. And that's all I have to, you know, really say on it. But it's just the boxes, man. Whatever, you know, that's what makes a good woman is what you're looking for. Because they're all going to be different.
And I think you brought up a good point. And something that I think where a lot of people slip up at is that you have a lot of people that have this on paper idea of what a wife or husband is supposed to be. And now, granted, there are certain things that have to be there, but you know, you have people that are so strict with it has to be this, it has to be that. That if it isn't, they'll disqualify a good man or a good woman.
That's true.
And the thing is, it's like, you know, it's people are individuals at the end of the day in that regard. And so you have to give people some grace in that aspect. And you kind of, it's like what Tyrell was saying, they have to check your boxes off. You have some people that have just a list of boxes that was given to them by someone else that may not be what they want and stuff like that. And then they try to base their marriage or relationship off of that, and it doesn't work. Yeah. And so, it's. But to answer the question of what would make a woman marriage material, I would say, number one, she has to have a cooperative attitude.
I agree.
Because can't nothing happen if, you know, you're having to fight all the time. And it's somebody that they always want to do things their way or this way. I would say they have to be someone that's cooperative. They have to be someone who is not a overly selfish person. Yeah. 100%. And I really think, like, you know, I mean, loyal is it feels silly to have to say that.
Yeah, it's like the basics.
But, you know, it's like, but we will say it, you know, but being loyal too. So you have to be cooperative. You have to be loyal, and you have to be a caring person. Like, you know.
Would you even add like coachable in terms of like going both ways? Like you're learning each other? Would you even throw that in there?
Oh yeah. I think it's when I think about that's kind of like what I would tie into the being a cooperative person.
Okay.
Because in order for somebody to really be cooperative, you have to be open to catering and catering some of your things to what this person needs and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll explain what I think that makes a woman marriage material. First and foremost, you kind of were touching on it a little bit, but selflessness.
Yeah.
Like you can't be selfish in a relationship where you're together and you're for that other person. A lot of times when you're in marriage, you have to make decisions together. You have to be on the same page. If you're constantly disagreeing on things and you can't move forward on certain issues, especially one of the big things that I had issues with finances. Finances and trying to put our money together to do different things and move forward and grow. But yeah, you definitely can't be selfish in a marriage. One thing I like that you said, you have to be caring. You have to care about the other person, and you have to be willing to compromise in certain situations.
Oh yeah,
compromising is really big.
Yeah,
Man.
it's
really
like
big.
We're all different people. We're gonna have different opinions, different ways of thinking, but at the end of the day, you got to learn how to come together as one. That's what marriage is. It's oneness. And if you can't be one and you're two, then it's two heads going in two separate different directions.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
So-
Unity. Yep.
So that was one of my biggest problems in being married. But I want somebody that can respect me, and I think that's one thing that
that's a big one.
it's a really big one. If they can't respect you and they treat you like dirt, when you giving them your all and they're giving you nothing, it's just a lopsided marriage then, or a lopsided relationship.
Oh yeah.
It has to be like the same amount. I don't care what your percentage is. That person has to be giving back the exact same thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all want to say it's 100%. We doing, it's 100%. If we're doing 50, we doing 50. If you pulling and I'm pulling you all over, that's not going to work,
Right.
man. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I've always had this idea when it comes to like relationships. It should be a constant form of give and take.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't always be just receiving and you're never giving nothing back, or you're always giving but you're never getting nothing back. It's supposed to be, hey, I do this, you do that, and you it goes back to what we were talking about with the cooperation. You work together, and I think, and you have to be,
100%.
and I don't think you can even truly be a cooperative person if you just don't care.
Yeah.
If you don't have that caring nature where you care about others, then it ain't gonna work, because you're gonna be reluctant to do things, and then that's gonna create tension, and then you're gonna be that's when it's gonna come to the arguments and all that stuff, and it's just like that stuff don't work.
It doesn't.
Now, with that said, how can you be like a better husband or a better fiance when it comes to relationships? I'll start with you, Tyrell.
I mean, we really went over it, but compromising. You have to compromise, man. That is probably the biggest one in communication.
I want things my way.
But and you have to communicate, man. We all have shortcomings, and you have to realize no one's perfect. And if you're talking, you're communicating, and you have to give on some things, man. And then petty arguments and stuff like that, you just gotta let it go, because I don't care what relationship you're in, it's gonna be some stupid,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid. Like, why are we arguing?
Well, I have some stories.
I've heard some of them. But I think that'll just make you a better husband. Just being there and just compromising, man. That is big. Communicate, compromise, and I think that's what I've been doing. Like I said, every relationship's gonna be different. But as far as I know, me and Chelsea, I know I'll do that, and she does it well too. Sometimes I'll be like, "Baby, what you want to eat?" I don't know. Okay. I'm about to get what I want. I know something small like that.
Oh yeah, those conversations, you be like, all right, now, if I get what I want, don't say nothing.
And then I don't want that. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But that's something small, and the small things you can laugh off. But when it comes to those bigger obstacles, because Life is an obstacle, and when you get married, that person's there to help you over those obstacles. And I just think that communicate and compromising, man, it'll get you a long way. It'll get you a long way. But to each his own. Like I said, man, every relationship is different. Like I just can't stress that enough. Yeah. What I say might work for me, but it might not work for you. But it just varies.
I see.
Mm-hmm. I would say I want to say like the best thing that anyone can do to be a better spouse and a better fiance is just being considerate, keeping your partner in mind in all things. I think that it'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of arguments if when you do things you think about your partner.
Yeah.
You think about, well, how would they feel about this? Or, if it's something that that they don't like. Because this is the thing. When you spend enough time with somebody, you know what they like.
Absolutely.
You know what they don't like. And so, if you're somebody who is considerate, you would say, let's say, you decide to go out with the boys. And you that your wife, fiance doesn't like for you to be out past a certain amount of time because, hey, it's I worry about you or whatever, so, and you considerate person would be like, oh, dang, man, it's starting to get kind of late. I know she gonna be mad if I don't show up by a certain amount of time. So you know what? I'm finna go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Versus, man, she'll be all right. And then you get home and then you got an argument waiting on you.
World War III.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, these are things that I think a lot of people skip out on. And people just do what they want to do and then wonder why they get the results that they get. And it's just like, if you would have just have been more considerate. And this isn't something about, this isn't about the other person controlling you or putting a ball and chain on you. And it's just, it's about, if you're someone who genuinely cares about the person that you're with, you're going to think about them when you do things, or at least you should.
Yeah. That's respect too. Just out of respect, I'm gonna have to make sure I think about my wife. Like, why get married if I'm not gonna think about my wife when I do certain things?
Exactly. You should have just stayed single.
Exactly.
I think one of the most important things that you have to do to be a better husband, spouse, fiance, you have to listen to your partner. You have to listen to them. Take it into mind what they're saying. Don't just blow things off. It's all about having that conversation. Sometimes it's a hard conversation when it comes to certain topics and certain issues, but you have to sit down, talk, and listen. You can't just ignore what the other person is saying. If you do, somebody's going to hold something inside until the point where it's just going to boil over and explode.
Now that's something I have learned. If you say that you're good, you're over it, it's done. Don't bring it back up later. You need to get it all off on the table and then and that's it. Be finished with it. Because you bring it up like, oh baby, you did this 2 years ago. I'm like, hold on now. So definitely, I think that's a really good point, man. Really good point.
Yeah, and people just don't have that conversation. I feel like that's the reason why, like, a lot of marriages fail. It's like it's not only listening, but it's also doing. You have to listen and do. You can't just be listening to what your partner is saying and don't change.
Yes.
For the better. There's going to be some topics and some situations where you have to put your foot down. Like, hey, no, we can't do that. We can't move in that situation because A, B, and C is going to happen. It's going to be bad for us. But, I always try to take into account what my wife was saying whenever she had issues, and then we would try to find some type of middle ground to maneuver through whatever we're trying to maneuver through. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Okay.
But let's get into something that I think about all the time. Now, 70% of marriages or divorces are filed by women. Now, that don't scare you guys?
Not at all. And honestly, like I told you, I didn't know it was 70%. That's wild, man. But it, realistically, it is more women on the earth. So
yeah,
this percentage is speaking.
So it's not only So 70% of marriages or divorces are filed by women, right? And for the most part, with most men, when they do get divorced, they get dragged through the mud way more than what women do.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah,
it happens.
Definitely.
They lose half their money. They most of the time, when it comes to kids, they're going with the woman. So it's like if things don't work out, it's like your finances go down the drain. Your relationship with the kids can possibly go down the drain. I mean, is that something that you guys think about or thought about before you got married or before you decided to propose?
Not for me. I didn't have anything. So
It broke half of nothing, boy.
And when my wife and I got together, man, she was actually making more money. Now I make more money. I'm not in that time where the man has to be the breadwinner. I have to make more money and stuff. That's not important because we still our finances come together, and we buy what we need to. She still has her accounts. I still have my accounts, and then we have a joint account, and we spend out of the joint account. We make sure we pay all our bills. So the money, the finances and stuff is we have that situated. I think every couple has to get that situated. That is important. Finances.
100%.
That is important, but
100%.
We just got our joint account not too long ago.
that's good.
Yeah. So
and we did too.
Let me tell you
before
what
we got
happened.
married.
Let me tell you what happened in my marriage with the finances.
Uh-oh.
So, I proposed. I was like, hey, so we need a joint account. All right, and we're gonna put this certain amount in this account every paycheck or whatever. And then we started doing it, right? And then, like, a couple of weeks later, like, I can't do this. It's too much money to be putting in this joint account. I don't want to do it no more.
Oh my goodness.
So, for the most part, we had our own separate accounts. And that's what goes back to what I was saying. Like, we just weren't on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to do what you guys do, but it's like, what is the saying? They say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Sure
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother.
Sure can't.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and that's important too, man. And you have to be fair. You have to be fair. Like, if somebody's doing that, your wife is doing that, man, it's going to be an argument that's going to come behind it.
there's a lot of arguments.
I believe it. Oh, I believe it. And then, you're putting in money and it's like, hold on, man. You like this number from 100% is starting to drop. And that's a problem when that number starts to drop, man. Because I feel like when you get towards a certain number, you now we looking at divorce and stuff. So you have to keep that number even, not just with finances, but it's everything, man.
Yeah.
It's everything.
So, touching on the finances, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'll tell you another thing. I'm just dishing out all the tea or whatever. But,
be sipping.
So, I noticed one thing too. So, like, in Memphis, we were financially stable. We had everything together. And then when we moved to Georgia, so she could pursue her career in hairdressing. So, what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to transfer from our jobs down to Georgia, so that we would have a job once we get down there. And I transferred with the job, and she didn't. Just like, all right, no, I'm just gonna find a hairdressing job down there. And I was like, no. So we got down there, and pretty much I had to pretty much work day and night to kind of foot all of the bills. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I do too.
And she couldn't find a job, and our finances went down, and everything was good when they were up. But as soon as those finances got down, boy, it got rough, and that's the real test. Like when your finances are in jeopardy, what they say, like something percentage of marriages end because financial reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah,
on the list, man.
I think the majority they say it's for financial reasons.
Yeah, I think it's
infidelity.
Yeah, infidelity and
Yeah.
financial reasons.
Yep.
And man, like when we didn't have the money that we used to have, man, things got rough. Like our marriage really, really got tested during that time. So yeah, finances is big when it comes to marriage, man. Like 100%.
I would say to answer the initial question, I've given the thought of marriage a lot of thought, a whole lot of thought, and I was very intentional with choosing my fiance, and I always, with anything I do, I always look at what could go wrong and what could go right. And then I decide that, if I decide to go along with it, my thought is that, I'm willing to deal with the whatever the negatives are that may come.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I know that, 70% of marriages divorce with women, stuff like that. But my thing is, it's, what you signed up for.
Absolutely.
And so, my thing is like, the question that I ask myself is like, is this somebody, because it's always going to be a risk. And the question, I ask myself is like, is this somebody that I'm willing to take this risk with, knowing that these are the things that could happen, that could go wrong? And, my answer was yeah.
So I'm going to give you some pushback on that.
Yeah.
Give you some pushback. So you said that people know what they signed up for. I'm going to say yes and no.
Yeah.
And I say no because people change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People change, but it's to what drastic effect, though?
Yeah.
So I feel like you can know what you're getting in the beginning.
Yeah.
But over years and years and years of being with a certain person and life happening, people change.
Yeah.
The way they were in the beginning might not be who they are, years down the road. And that's the thing that kind of scares me about being with somebody forever.
Right.
It's like, you be peaches and cream in the beginning, and then later on, like, okay, well, like you're not the person that she wants or he wants anymore,
Yeah.
And it's like, in Toy Story, was his name Andy? He had the toy, and he was like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Right.
And he throws the toy away.
Right.
It's a possibility,
Well, when I say, you know what you signed up for, that's also what I mean. Like, you have to go into it knowing that this person could be a totally different person at some point. And before you step over that broom, you cross that threshold, you make that transition, you have to come to terms with that. You have to say, you know what? In the event that this person might just end up being crazy as hell, do I still want to take that risk,
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. And I mean, of course, if it comes to a point where you may have to separate or something like that, then, you deal with that when you get to it. But, I mean, I think you have to, it's kind of funny, to think about it now. It's like, you got to look at this stuff like Batman. Batman don't trust nobody. Batman in the Justice League, he been in Justice League since we was kids, but he done always, in the back of his mind, he like, in the event that Superman get wrong, Wonder Woman get wrong, all these other folks get wrong, I get something in my back pocket waiting on them. And it's like, now I'm not going to treat them any differently along the way, But in the event that something go wrong,
Yeah.
I'm already prepared for it. I've already set my mind to that, to know that this man might get wrong with me one day or whatever. So what I look at it is like, you got to look at it that way. I mean, you have no way of knowing how your wife gonna turn out.
So I can't even lie. Like, when I got married, I had a Batman contingency plan too. I was like, I know, kind of like Tyrell was saying, I was like, man, I'm broke. I know we get half of nothing is nothing. So
now will be something.
But back on subject, kind of like what you were saying, I kind of had mentally prepared for if things were to go wrong.
Right.
So I was content with my decision. But if you're single, right?
Right.
You don't really have to. How can I say? When you're single, you don't have to be content. You can walk away whenever you want.
Right.
As opposed to being in a marriage where you can sign a contract, and you can make these vows, and
it's harder to get away from somebody.
Everybody that watch you walk down the aisle, and you got eyes on you, and it's harder. And I think a lot something that people don't talk about when it comes to divorce is like it feels shameful sometimes to get a divorce, and then it hits your pride too, sometimes I just think I would rather just stay single or stay in a relationship. I don't have to worry about coming up with a Batman contingency plan. If things don't work out, I'm single. Like, hey, all right, well, we tried. We don't have to get no divorce. We're just boyfriend, girlfriend, go our separate ways.
Right. And I think it's important too to make sure that when you are dating, you need to see every emotional state, and see, you need to see you need to see the person mad, you need to see them sad, you need to see them happy, you need to see how they handle certain emotions. Yeah, man, you have to. I think that's really important because, like, what if they have an anger issue? And then, they start throwing stuff and they punching stuff. Before you marry them, I would end it right there. So it just, you got to really just kind of, you got to know what you want. Yeah. And I think as far as like seeing how a person handles emotions, because you're right, people do change.
You also got to look at, you have to come up with a list of things that like what can you and can you not tolerate.
Yep.
And so, you have certain things where you're like, okay, I can work with them if this issue might pop up, that issue might pop up. And then you have over on this side, like, okay, if we come into this territory, it's a wrap. So, and I think it's very important, very, very important that you vet the people that you want to get involved with. Don't wait till you get involved.
Yep.
Vet them before you get involved. That's why I say, like, I was saying, like, for me, with example, with my now fiance, we were friends first. But even before we were friends, I was already scoping.
You was on the prowl, boy.
At the time, I didn't really have any desire to be with her in that way because I was like, I don't know enough.
Yeah.
And, I look at the type of friends they have, the type of family they get, the type of behaviors that they do, the places they frequent, stuff like, I look at all these things and then I make a decision based off that, but I also keep in mind that, all of this could change at some point. And in the event that that does happen, will I be okay with that? Because I really think, because you got some folks, because when you're dealing with anybody, you got some folks where even like amongst friends, y'all can talk crap to each other all day and you be like, oh man, I'll take it from that person. But then somebody else, this other person, you be like, oh no, you can't say that to me. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that with the person that you're with. It's like, you want to find you somebody that is check them boxes so good that it's not going to be so easy for you to walk away because you have thoroughly vetted this person. But, it's work, man. Like, you got to be real intentional.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So I want to get into this last topic. We kind of hinted at this at the beginning of the show, but is marriage a form of control? And I'll start with you, Tyler.
Absolutely not, man. That's my answer. I remember I said that earlier, but I can see where you would think the control would be in, because like, oh, I gotta call my wife, I gotta let my wife know this, I gotta think about her on this. But it's not a problem. Like, to me, I don't see the problem, because I love my wife. I chose this. That's the main thing. I chose this life, man. It didn't pick me. It didn't pick me. So I just think, I don't have a ball and chain, dude. I can go and leave, but like I said, it's just respect. At the end of the day, I respect my wife, man, and she respects me. So I don't have that problem, man. If I want to, but I do keep her in mind. Like Bishop was saying earlier, you have to be considerate. You have to. If I want to play the game for a few hours, hey babe, I'm gonna play the game for a few hours, but I'll be working most of the time.
Yep. Oh man. Yeah.
Yep. So that's, to me, I don't see marriage as a ball and chain. I've been having fun. I'm enjoying this thing, and I got somebody I hope I can grow old with. I hope I live to be old. And I'm comfortable. I'm really happy.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, get out of here, man.
See, I agree, man. I don't look at it as being a form of control. Now, if you really want to, it could be, depending on who you're married to, but I think at its core, it's not. It's about two people making a decision that this is who I'm gonna stick with, and it's a choice.
Mm-hmm. It's a choice.
And now, based off of the configuration of your relationship, it shouldn't be a ball and chain, like we said before. If, you're feeling that way, then you probably need to make some adjustments. Whether that adjustment is the partner itself, or just the way that y'all communicate about what you expect in the relationship. So, I don't look at it that way.
So I definitely look at it that way.
Man, well, okay. Why you say that?
So I feel like women can, so women can't physically control us. So there's always this they always have these mental ways of controlling us. And I think there's three main ways that women control men. This might be number one. But number one, I think women control men with sex.
She can throw it down, boy.
Throw it down.
She got the trap.
And it's not even the physical act of sex. It's the visual sexuality. Even if a woman is for instance, leading the man on with the possibility of sex, that can lead a man to do. He cutting grass. And,
I've seen that. I have
taking
seen
out
that.
Trash and washing dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he thinks there's a possibility that he might get sex.
Yep.
Number two, I think that this is a byproduct of sex, but kids, these women out here having kids and thinking they can lock a man down, and in some instances, I don't know if you heard, but you heard of the Brittany Renner situation where she
Stepdaddy season.
Oh, wow.
Where some of these chicks laying up with these dudes, having babies with them, and they getting checks because they didn't have a baby by this one dude, and then if he don't do what he wants them, she wants him to do, then she uses that kid as leverage,
Yeah.
And then the third, and getting back on topic, is marriage, man. So I feel like a woman has more power over a woman if she's married to one. if you like in a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, you know, like I was hinting to earlier, like if things ain't going well, you can pretty much walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But married, you on a contract.
Yeah.
That's just what it is to me. You on a contract. So if you mess up or if she do something she don't like and she decide to get a divorce, everything is gonna go in her favor. And I think women know that.
So all right. So let me start with the very first thing. Just with the whole just with the you said the first thing was what? You said sex and then you were talking
Kids.
about with children.
And then
So,
marriage.
okay. So, I mean, yeah, women can definitely control a man with those things. However, the first two, I mean, that's really all falls on the guy.
Absolutely.
Because if you're a guy who is like, you know, you're not gonna do all this stuff with you know, hoping that this woman will have sex with you, then that she's not finna control you. Or you're somebody who is disciplined in that aspect of where you like, I don't have to have sex with this woman. I can have sex with somebody else. Or I don't want no sex at all. Then she has no power over you in that regard. There's nothing she can make you do because you're not trying to get anything from her. And then when in regards to the kids, I mean, once the baby's already here, there's nothing that you can do about that.
They're here, man.
But it's like, you know, this is why you have to, that situation could be avoided. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to vet these folks, and you have to, and I mean, again, it's,
you have to strap up.
Yeah, I mean, you got to strap up, pull out any and all things that you got to do to make sure that baby don't come through. But, you know, that falls on us in that regard. And so it's kind of like, you know, we can talk about how it's messed up that, you know, you have guys out here that are getting taken advantage of by these women that just want them for their resources, and so they throw a baby on them and stuff like that. But it's like, it's our responsibility to be smart in that scenario. Because then it's like, man, you know, that sucks, but it's like, you was the damn fool for having a baby with this woman that you know probably was looking to get up in your pockets.
100%.
Yeah, you didn't do what you needed to do. But in regards to like the whole marriage thing, I think, you know, everything you're saying is right. However, you can put yourself in a position to where you're not at the disadvantage. I can give you an example. Let's say, you know, yeah, this woman could just leave at any time. And, you know, if she leaves, she's taking this, that, and the other, right? But you have to put yourself in a position to where that would not be in her best interest. Because let's say we're talking about, and let's go back to finance in that regard. Let's say you are the breadwinner in the household, right?
Yeah.
And so you contribute so much to the point that where certain things don't get done unless you do it. And she can't do it. So she needs you in that regard. Or let's say if y'all are coming from let's say y'all are two people that are more equally yoked in terms of finances. So, you know, you can't play the money card. Let's say you're somebody who is, you know, you play that protector role very strong. Mm-hmm. And in the event that you were not there, she does not have that covering.
Yeah.
And so it's in her best interest to stick around or do right by you. So it's like, you know, you're not going to be in a situation where you feeling like, you know, you're being controlled by your mate because it's just, oh man, you know, if she does this or that, then I'm screwed. You have to put yourself in a position of where regardless of what she does, you're going to be straight.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's I think that's kind of where, I mean, you have people that fall short in that regard. And you don't put yourself in a position where you cannot be hurt that easily.
And see, like, just touching on what you're saying. So, if you're in a relationship with a woman, and say, for instance, in the beginning, you were, the man making the money, the breadwinner or whatever, and then money fall off, she could change.
Yep.
She can change. Like, hey, well, this isn't what I signed up for. Then, like, the selfishness comes into play to where, like, it's not for better or worse anymore. It's just it's not unconditional love. It's conditional.
Yeah.
It's a lot of relationships like that. And if I could go over what you were saying, sex, kids, and marriage, I would say, man, as far as like the whole idea, the whole sex thing, that might work on somebody, like Bishop was saying, there's somebody that's not disciplined, or maybe somebody that don't have enough knowledge or experience in their background. Right. But the average guy, I'm gonna say the average guy, he should be, see all of that coming. Like, that shouldn't be enough to like, oh, I'm hoping that, the idea of sex. I can understand if she's giving it to you, because I've seen that both ways too, where man's giving it to a woman, and boy, she's hooked. So I mean, sex can definitely be used either way as a mental, warfare type, or a tactic or something. But
I'm gonna give you some pushback on that in a second. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, and then what's the other one? Children. Like you said, you can wrap it up, man. Once the child's here, there's nothing you can do, and I think it's important just to know who you laying down with, man.
Yes.
I do know a lot of people, they just want to have sex and they don't think about the children, but think about the woman you're with. You go over her house or something, she nasty. Got roaches everywhere, and you lay down like, man, but that's not good though. Because now you already know the possibility is always there. It's always there.
Every woman that I've had sex with more than
don't get yourself in trouble, Bishop.
I'm not that I've had sex with more than twice. Mm-hmm. My thought was always, before I continued, my thought was always, in the event that this woman were to get pregnant, would I be able to accept that? If my answer was no, I'm fool with them no more. And so
I'm the same way. I was the same way. I'm gonna dap you on that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to.
You got to. A lot of guys don't be thinking, man. Like, this
go out here and be like, man, I'm finna tear that up, and just as long as she giving it to me, I'm gonna take it. And then you don't think about what would happen if something were to come along where you tied to this woman. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to deal with that? And if the answer is no, then you need to stop fooling with her.
A lot of people don't think like that. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, it was a time in my life. I'm not gonna get into it. But so I'm gonna give you a little bit of pushback.
Okay.
I think that women use men way more than men use women. For the most part, we're self-sufficient. We can get our own thing. We can get our own bag, do our own thing. But even though women can do the same, they still out here using men, finessing men. I mean, like you said, men can do it too, but women just do it on a whole other level to me.
I actually agree with you.
Especially,
I can agree with you.
You got women out here going on dinner dates, just stringing a man along, just because they want some steak and some potatoes.
Yeah.
And it happens all too often. And I don't know. I still think that like those three things, it's just a form of control, man. Like, especially marriage. I think marriage is the worst form of control because, like I said, you're under contract, literally legally binding contract. And then if you want to throw the Lord into it, you're bounded by the Lord and Jesus.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that bound you to that one person that they can and like I was saying before, women, they know that if they get a divorce, they're gonna get the better hand and everything. So,
something we didn't. Yeah, I'm about to say something we didn't touch on is prenups, prenuptial, agreements. I know, but I'm just saying if you know you have money, there is no way even like in my relationship, let's say I would have been making money I'm making now. Man, prenup, I'm just saying, man.
We just heard about Dr. Dre, him divorcing his wife.
Yeah.
He had a prenup. It didn't mean nothing. He still had to pay her.
Now this is something that
alimony is different.
This is something I want to put out there that I think that I don't think people look at, that I think is a thing. You have to look at, people are more valuable than just their physical possessions, and you have to look at it this way. If you take someone like Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, for example.
Oh God, here we go.
Entanglement.
Now, this is the thing though, but you notice she ain't left though.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well,
because
security.
Well, not
open
only
relationship.
Not only that, but you got to look at it this way: if almost Jada Pinkett only has the status that she has because she's married to Will Smith.
Yeah.
If she were to get divorced right now and say, "I'm gonna ride off in the sunset with August Alsina," it's over for her. But the thing is, because again, you have to look at it this way too. Jada she has access to a lifestyle and a part of the world that she is not going to be able to get by herself. Otherwise, she would have done that.
Hold on now, though, if you were saying that Jada got money too, man.
She does have money, but this is the thing. For how long is she going to have that money? Because a lot of that money, she don't have to work. A lot of that money she gets because Will is bringing it home. Now, she got her little side stuff.
Oh, no, man.
But you got to look at it this way. Who cares about her? If she was not married to him, if she got divorced today, and she got rid of his name too, she was not Jada Pinkett Smith no more, just Jada Pinkett. She's older. She ain't finna be in no movies like that. She probably ain't finna be on no TV shows like that. And who wanna come behind Will Smith?
I'm gonna get some pushback on this one. I think Jada, I don't know if that's a good example because she's established, man. Like that lady, I know she's worth over $100 million.
But what we're saying is, she has that, and she remains where she is because of Will, because of her attachment to Will.
I can see what you're saying.
And I'm saying if she were to leave, she can't try to hit him for child support because both their kids are grown, all their children are grown, so she's not finna get nothing for that. It's like she will be completely detached from like a big sector, like a big part of her life. And in order for her to maintain the lifestyle that she got now, she's going to have to start back acting or doing something like that, which she does not have to do now because she's married to Will.
I can't see what she's worth, man. I think she's straight on the money.
Well, what I mean is,
I know what you mean, though.
But the money, but see, this is the thing. The money runs out. And money is constantly coming in because Will doing it. He's still out here making movies. One's Jada Pinkett not out here doing movies like that. She got her little red table talk and all that stuff, but that ain't nothing compared to what Will makes. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I got you.
And so, and it kind of the thing about with guys, if you're somebody who can produce, who is skilled, yeah, you might get a mount chopped off, but you can get it back. Yeah. Dr. Dre getting divorced, losing that money, that don't matter. Dr. Dre can still make music. Dr. Dre still got his connections with all them folks. He can make all that money back. It might take him a little minute, but he can do it back. How many other Dr. Dre's she gonna find though? Same thing with, and this is the thing that I mean about when I said earlier, you have to kind of put yourself in a position of where, regardless of what your wife does, you're not gonna be hurt in the end. You have to set yourself up to where if she were to leave, it's going to hurt her more than it's going to hurt you in the long run. Because if you working, think about if you're a skilled contractor, you making contractor money, and she work at flower shop. She get divorced and she take half. Okay, she get that, but she gonna have to start paying for her own bills now.
Oh, it's gonna run out.
That money gonna run out.
Oh yeah.
And then now what? Versus you still making the same amount that you were making before her. The only difference now is you done already broke her off her little piece, so now you better off now than you were with her in that regard as far as finances go. So eventually she gonna be like, dang, I probably need to get back with him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, Jada Pinkett so dusty,
Hold on, man.
Well, she got
man, I want to look her up, man.
So Jada Pinkett.
Hold on.
So wait, man.
Can I look her up?
So when was the last movie she did?
We about to find out.
Girls Trip.
Man, hold on.
Nobody cares about that.
Hold on, let me look it up,
so,
man.
listen, like Jada, like to me, all right. So kind of like what Bishop was talking about, man. Like she wouldn't be relevant if it wasn't for Will Smith. Like you said, if she wasn't attached to his name, like nobody would care. Like, so say for instance,
Jada, I need you to reach out to me after this. I'm pulling for you, girl.
So let's say, like, who was the guy that she had an entanglement?
August Alsina.
So let's say that like she had an entanglement with August Alsina, but she was with I don't know, Lil Duval or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Would it get as much headline? As
Before we continue, I just want you to know.
Yeah.
I looked up Will Smith's net worth.
I see it. I already see it.
$350 million.
I see it. I already know what you about to say. 50. Hey, you give me 50 million, I'm living my best life. I ain't working at FedEx.
Well, see, this is the thing. Her net worth $50 million, but you also have to account for her lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree.
How long is that $50 million gonna last?
It wouldn't last long.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. And then she's in the Matrix Resurrections, and I don't see nothing else.
Boy, that was 300 years ago.
Jada, I'm trying, baby.
Man, you remember when she was in Set It Off?
Oh my goodness.
She was in the show In a Different World with Tupac.
But you know what though? I mean, I gotta get on their train, Jada. I'm sorry, but yeah, I have to agree.
So let me ask you this. So since we on the subject of Jada and Will, now if y'all wife got into entanglement when I guess you were quote unquote separated, would you take it back?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I think it's a hard thing because if you broke up, you broke up. Now, if y'all decide to get back together, you get back together. But I mean, you're still legally married, yes. But if Will was doing his dirt too, man. Will was messing. Yes, he was. Will was messing up. Yes, we do.
Hey,
he said it. He said it. Will was messing up.
Tell me that man did not destroy Margot Robbie. I know he did. All the
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You can see the chemistry between
them.
Now, we don't have any real proof.
Not just her, though. It wasn't just her.
I know. We know that man was doing something.
I'm going to defend my boy Will Smith.
But Will just said they had an open relationship, too.
Yeah, he did.
He said that recently, after the entanglement.
Because
I'm going to defend Will Smith to the
I like you too, Will. Hit me up, brother.
He wasn't thinking about no open relationship until the entanglement.
I've heard that it was her idea.
Jada, that's what I was about to say. Jada turned it into an open relationship when she had her entanglement because she couldn't find herself. She couldn't find her way.
But they always said
so
that.
So Will told her like, hey, you need to go and make yourself happy. Like there's something up with that woman, man. It's just I don't know.
Now, but what you saying though? Just backing up. If you break up with a woman and y'all get back together now,
it's separated.
Yeah. Now that's different. To me, that's different. Now, if you decide you want to get back with her, that's on you. Especially if you know who she been messing with. But that's all on you. But if y'all are not together, man, she didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying, it's just like if you were to go and date anybody. If she's not with her boyfriend, they broke up. It's nothing wrong, man. We're just y'all still legally married.
Man, free will, man. You need to get on out of there. Free will Smith. You need to go ahead and, man, just get a divorce, please.
they never gonna get a divorce because they said it's not an option.
Bro,
Of course it ain't. She ain't trying to go back to work.
Bro, I can't see what
I agree with
say?
you. 50 million? Come on, man.
Bro, what did they say? Like bad marriage for life?
Yep. Oh, that's terrible.
Man,
that's terrible.
Will, please, if you're listening, I feel you, boy. Get out as soon as you can. Please.
Well, let's see what this is the thing. I mean, he really ain't got to. He can really do whatever he want to do.
Exactly.
And it don't matter.
It doesn't
because
matter.
all that's gonna happen is, okay, she say, well, Will, I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. He gonna be like, okay.
But here's the thing,
he's
man.
still Will Smith at the end of the day.
No, see, he's not Will Smith no more. He's miserable. He's miserable, Will Smith, right now.
Oh,
and you can tell that this woman is making him miserable and it's really weighing down.
Well, I think the only reason it is because he's still trying to do quote unquote the right thing. But what I'm saying is, Will could drop Jada right now and go get him a younger woman, have a whole new family if you want to.
He could.
Jada don't have that option. She too old now. She can't have no more children like that. In the event that she do, she gonna be an old mother, and then it's complications that come with that. Will don't have them problems. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, even if they say, okay, we stay married forever, but we gonna go our separate ways, I mean, he can do that.
What's the point of being married, though?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a marriage, like we said, is between two people. Yep. When you start having open doors in a relationship, it's problems.
I think probably the only reason they probably still stay together like that is probably because of the image.
Oh yeah. Because everybody remember back in the day. Yeah. I want to be like Jada and Will. Yeah,
the relationship goes.
Yep, it was.
Yeah,
yeah. Because you just never know what's going on behind closed doors, and boy, when those doors went open, boy, we saw some stuff.
I think you have more people. I think depending on the parties involved, people will, quote unquote, stay together to uphold that image, because there may be perks that come with that image. Let's say, for example, y'all are married, you work somewhere, and you wanna advance in the company, and all of the higher ups are married, and all of that stuff, married, have children, and you're wanting to break into that avenue, but you would not be able to relate as a single bachelor guy. But because you're married, they're looking at you as a peer, and you can relate on things, and they may also look at it like, okay, this guy's been married for 10 years. That shows that he's somebody who can commit to something, and he has a family, so he's responsible. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I want that guy on my team, versus you just some reckless party animal. You party every week. You got a different girl every week. They're gonna be like, man, this guy doesn't commit to anything. I don't know if I can trust him. You see what I'm saying?
And it's just like the president. Have you seen a president without a wife ever? I don't care how bad his marriage is.
Right.
Yeah, Donald Trump's wife was a porn star somewhere.
Yeah,
or something. She was some type of something. She did some stuff. I don't know.
But she was married to him.
Yeah, but it was the image. It's like the fact that I am married. It shows that I have some commitment. I agree with that, Bishop. Yeah, that's definitely true. Definitely. Relationship goals.
On that note, man, it's been fun. Man, I enjoyed having you guys here.
It's been good.
Oh yeah.
Bearing our soul. Hopefully you guys don't get canceled or I get canceled. Saying some of this stuff.
I'm for Will and Jada.
Free Will Smith. Free Will Smith. Go ahead and get that divorce. Move on. But yeah, man, it's been a great episode. I appreciate you guys coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And this concludes the H3 Talk Show episode 2. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and hey, be easy, all right?
All right, y'all have a good one.